Yeah, that V6 is pretty solid. I mean, hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be going over the all-new Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Provo, Utah, for giving me some time with this Atlas. This one is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Ryan. And then on a side note, if you save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 3.6 liter naturally aspirated V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is good for 276 horsepower and then 266 pound-feet of torque. Now, front-wheel drive is standard with the Atlas, but you can also get all-wheel drive. Before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Starting with the hood on the Atlas Cross Sport, you guys can see you've got the distinctive lines there in the center. Other than that, it's pretty simplistic. And then coming down below, notice how you've got the daytime running lights that actually go into the trim pieces with the grille. I think that's really cool when it comes to style. You've got the Volkswagen logo front and center, parking sensors there at the bottom as well. And then when you put it all together, the Volkswagen Atlas definitely has a pretty cool modern appearance. Come around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 255, 50, 20 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys will notice that the wheels are all blacked out, and I think that kind of blends to the sporty design on this one. And then if we look at the full side profile here, you guys can see you've got those distinctive fender flares there. We have our Cross Sport badge there on the side, and then look at this like little body line that goes all the way across. And then notice how the back kind of slopes off a little bit more aggressively compared to the regular Atlas. Now here's a key fob for this Atlas. You got the Volkswagen logo there on the back. We have our lock function. We've got the opening here for the hatch remote starting on the unlock function, and hold that down and the hatch will pop right open. And this here's why people love the Atlas. Tons of storage space here in the back. This is similar in size to like a Jeep Grand Cherokee when it comes to storage. We do have a spare tire underneath the loading floor. When you're all done with the rear, just press that button right there and that will lower the hatch right back down. And then here are the taillights with the Atlas. You guys can see pretty distinctive there with the turn signal, and I think the design looks pretty good. We've got our Volkswagen Atlas logo right there. You've got our SE V6 badge, parking sensors here at the bottom with a receiver hitch, and we have fake exhaust tip covers. Kind of interesting. Let me know what you guys think about the rest of the rear. Notice we have keyless entry. Taking a look at the door panel here, really cool stitching that goes across. You can see nice padding down below, window control right there, and then tons of storage space on the panel itself. And then here are the seats. We've got this cool contrasted stitching, and then notice it looks like carbon fiber there on the side of the seats, perforated in the center. Legroom is fantastic, and look at those old man slippers. Headroom's also pretty good. Other notable features, we've got storage pockets here on the seats, we've got vents, we've got charging ports down below, and we've got cup holder armrest. With the front door panel, we have this like wood trim there in the center with the silver trim around it. And see all the stitching and padding down below. All of our window controls here with the mirror adjustment. That's to open up the rear hatch door lock and unlock. And then the mirrors have blind spot monitoring. And then taking a look at the front seats, we've got really nice stitching there at the top. And then you can see again with the carbon fiber print. And then you've got the perforations there on the center of the seats. They are power adjustable for the driver. I just want to show the pedals because that brake pedal is super thick. And then we do have our light control right there. So here is the steering wheel. We've got really nice trim all around, contrasted stitching on the center portion. We've got some controls for center stack voice command controls. We have like the new airbag cover with the Volkswagen logo. And then this does have adaptive cruise control as well. Turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock. So with the digital gauge cluster here, you guys can see it shows stuff like your fuel, temperature, you know, pretty normal stuff. But that view button, can press that and it fully changes what shows there in the center, which I think is pretty cool. We got menus on either side that we can scroll through to see a bunch of different bits of info on the vehicle and systems within the vehicle. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution on it's pretty good. As for the infotainment system, response time with the screen is actually pretty solid, easy to use. You do have like a shortcut bar here on the side, which also helps out. We've got dual zone climate controls down below. We also have heated seats here for the front passengers on top of that. We've got a bunch of USB ports here with a wireless phone charging pad. Shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission, and then you got like your engine stop start button there, a couple of cup holders, and then that's for your parking brake and then your parking sensors. We have this massive center console lid there with a USB inside and then nice stitching on top. And then here's a quick look at the glove box. And then notice here on the dash, pretty nice. And then we just have like a darker colored headliner setup. Now these Atlas Cross Sports brand new are close to like $50,000 if you load them up similar to what this is. And well, let's see how it drives. Okay, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So setting off here in the Atlas Cross Sport, and I've already driven the new Atlas, so this is just kind of to see if the Cross Sport drives any different. I'm assuming it's not going to be any different because basically the benefit of going for the Cross Sport is you just get a little bit more trunk space technically, because again, with the third row in the regular Atlas, you have to have it folded down to have decent trunk space, whereas this, you just have the 2 rows. So think about like, you know, Jeep Grand Cherokee versus Jeep Grand Cherokee L in a way. The 8-speed's pretty good, pretty responsive, quick with the shifts as well. So I think that's a big plus. Steering's really light, but it's direct, so it's solid overall with the setup. And let's see how the acceleration is. Yeah, that V6 is pretty solid. I mean, you guys heard the power figures, but it gets up and moves. So summing things up here with this Atlas Cross Sport, I think it looks really good on the outside. I do prefer the styling on this compared to the regular Atlas just a little bit. This kind of reminds me of like the Q8, the Audi Q8, because of like how it has a kind of like fastback type design. So I definitely like that. Interior on this is actually pretty nice as well. Don't worry, that was just my tripod. Volkswagen's definitely brought up their interiors quite a bit. And so overall, I think that, you know, job well done. I think that this is a pretty solid offering. I guess the only thing that I would change maybe is offer just a higher performance powertrain with this, because you've got the turbocharged 4-cylinder you can get with this, and then you also have this V6, but you know, maybe offer like a plug-in hybrid, because that's like what Jeep does with the Grand Cherokee now, or you know, just something that it gives this a little bit more performance. I think that, you know, people would go for it. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if you happen to own an Atlas and if you just don't care, but I think that people would appreciate that. Us Americans always like extra power. Let's see how good this backup camera is with getting into our parking space. Yeah, look at that breeze. So let me know what you guys think about the new Cross Sport, and if you like this or the regular Atlas more. That's because something's up with our video on this Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Cars here in Provo for giving me some time with this Atlas. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see ya.